Hi, and welcome to Paper Root Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm making another layout for the Whole Kit Caboodle YouTube hop. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am working on layout number 4 for the Whole Kit Caboodle YouTube hop with Ginger from Ginger's Corner and some of her friends. We are working on tackling one full collection kit and showing how we're going to use the entire thing. So here is my fourth layout. I had chosen these 3 patterned papers for this kit, and I decided this one was going to be my background, although originally I think I thought the red would be the background, but I decided on this craft one with the I don't know, doodling kind of print on it, and it is from DCWV, Die Cuts with a View, which is an older paper company. So I am going to ink up the edges of this one, and then I'm going to mat it on the 12 by 12. I did cut it down a little bit on each side so that I could mat it on black. I felt like I needed the black mat to make it kind of stand out. And I cut a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom, and then I cut about 3/4 of an inch off the one side, and that seemed to balance it all out for me in the way that I thought looked best with this particular pattern. And what does it say? It actually says rock, doodle, rock. Rock, doodle, rock. That's the name of the paper. I always find it interesting to see what designers or companies, I guess, design companies call their patterned papers. Kind of fun. Okay, so I'm just going to try to line this up a little bit so that it's even on all the sides. I feel like if I line it up on the 3 sides, that when I put it down, it should line up evenly across the top. And that looks pretty good. So here's what I'm thinking. I did cut a circle, well, kind of. It didn't come out all the way, but I'll finish cutting it out of this patterned paper. It's this pattern on one side and the tone-on-tone kind of greenish blue music note paper on the other side. So just gonna cut the parts that didn't quite come out the way I had intended. Okay, so I was thinking like maybe something like this with my photos in here. I was going to do it this way so that I could overlap a little bit. I think I'm going to ink the edges because I left them this time for you guys to see how it cuts funny when I cut this particular photo paper. I don't know why it's like that, but it is what it is. At first I thought it was the blade on my trimmer, and I changed the blade and it kept doing the same thing. So I was like, well, I guess it's not the trimmer. And it wasn't tearing my paper, but anyway, now that I know, and I'll just work along with it for now. Okay, so that's kind of what I was thinking. And then I thought maybe I could tuck my journaling up here. I just journaled on one of the tickets that I had chosen from my colored bins for this kit, and then I was going to use this as my title, even though it's not actually current, but it was at the time. Kind of like the way I see it is like current events, and so I used this title. It looks like it doesn't read really well in on 2 dimensions on camera, but in 3 dimensions it really does stand off, that kind of pattern. And then I was going to put the year because I have these alphas that I talked about in my kit. Oops, that's not part of it. In my kit share, where I wanted to use up this alpha that has a lot of the symbols still in it. And it's got lots of numbers too. Not a ton of letters, but I did use one in the last video, which I didn't really show. I used the letter I, capital letter I from here. And that was, I think, the only letter I ended up picking out of here. But yeah, but I have everything I need to put 2019, which was the year that this Super Bowl happened. Okay, so that is kind of what I'm thinking, although this seems, what if we do something a little bit different? What if we cut this, so this was, I think that's about half. I don't know, how wide is this? I didn't really pay attention, I just cut what I thought. So this is like a 7.5 inch circle. So 7.5 would be 3 3/4, I think, would be half. So we'll cut down this line here, and then we'll do the same. What did we say? 7.5, so 3 3/4. Go this way and this way. Because what I'm thinking is it might be more fun. Oops, I guess it goes like this. But what if we like alternated it and made it like a pie? Maybe we could even cut it one more time and alternate the patterns. It just might look something a little bit different. Do something different with our circle. This way. And then I'll do it again and just cut that kind of in half. Okay. I have figured out the directionality of our music notes, so that will drive me less crazy. And then here we have our photos. I'm gonna cut some photo mats from my red paper. What's on the other side of this? I wonder if I have enough left over from the last layout in that red to map my photos with. And then I can have a full sheet to move forward to my next. Yeah, it should work. Okay. And there we go. You know, it might even be more fun is to pull these out. I saw this on one of our sketches, I think, recently, when we did, was it 30 Days of Sketches? Maybe? I don't remember if it was 30 Days of Sketches or something else, but I remember seeing the kind of triangle pieces across the paper like that, and it kind of looked cool. Here we're doing two kind of half circles more than triangles, but I still like the idea. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. This gives me photos, title, and journaling. I'm going to just find something to put my date on, which should be in here somewhere. What can we use to put the date? I have another one of these orange tabs we could use. One of those could work. I think I like the idea of this one because it kind of coordinates with that. So if I put that there. Okay. So I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to get my photos and my basic pieces down, and then I will start with my embellishment clusters. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so here's where we're at. I ended up putting the two half circles kind of staggered off center of each other, so they're not exactly circle-y anymore, but I popped up the more colorful pieces on, and again I used my chipboard scraps for a little elevation. And then I did this, I also popped up my photos, and then from my, I have a little stack of things that I think would make good like cluster bases, and I used a couple of these. They were from a, I don't know, like a, it looked like a 6x6 paper pad, but it had like different cut file looking things in it, so that's where that's from. And then I also had found these two record players in my little box of goodies where I had my labels from also. So that's what I got from there. And then these 3 pieces are from my last layout where I didn't use all of the music note parts. And then from my little chipboard box, I got a tab, a ticket, and a tag. And say that 3 times fast. And then what else did I do? I found this little piece. I haven't glued it down yet because I'm undecided still on that one. I'd kind of like to put something in the center of my records, but I'm not sure what. Maybe a gem. I have stars stickers. I have these stickers. I did use one of these base clef stickers and put it on this tag. And then I punched out, I have this little mini music note punch, and I punched out a couple of those just from the tearaway strips, and that just added a little bit of that color into that tab. And I think that's as far as I got. Oh, and I added the numbers that I talked about. I was gonna put them down here, but once I popped these up, they didn't quite fit properly there, so I just ran them across the top, which is fine, because they're quite big. So I'm gonna first look at my bigger stickers, and then I'll move back to those ones that I was just showing you. So I'm looking at this larger sticker sheet. I think I would like to use some of these, like, what are these called? Like, I want to call them splashes, but I think they're more like star shapes, I guess. And here's the other one. So got those on there, and I think I want to use one of this one's the most colorful, Turn Up the Music Works word strip sticker. So I'm going to just tuck that kind of under my photo, I think. There we go. Maybe I want it on the other side. Yeah, I like it there better. Okay, there we go. Turn up the music. And then I have also thought about adding some of these, but I think I'm just going to stick with the one that I already put on there. I don't think I'm going to put anything else from those. Stars though, maybe. First I want, oh, and I also put Brad's in my tag, my ticket, and on the arm of the record player thing. So then I was going to grab some, because my title is wood veneer, I was going to grab some wood veneer pieces as well. So I think I'm going to go with these. What are these? 1/8 notes, I think. 3 of them. I don't know, maybe those. We'll see. Okay. So I have wood veneer here. I might use this. It says happiness found, but I'm not convinced on it. So I wanted to see what it looked like with these on here first. And that one's too similar to that, so I'm going to put that there. Again, too similar, so I'm going to put this one here. I think I want my stars and my wood veneer on the same kind of area. This does not want to stick. There we go, and then this one. Okay, and then I wanted to add some puffy stars in this pack here. What if we do this kind of blue is in there? So blue, the turquoise, and the yellow. Maybe. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, and then we'll do the same up here somewhere. Maybe this is where I can put my stars. There, that's cute. Okay, and then we'll put some stars maybe over here. There we go. So we got our puffy stars on there. I think we have all the things now. So we have our little finishing touches on there with our puffy stickers. We have moved the wood veneer around the page a little bit. And we got a couple of stickers from our sticker sheet on there. I think we're good to go. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I hope you are feeling inspired by this YouTube hop with Ginger from Ginger's Corner. And I'm hoping that you are feeling like you want to go and try playing along with us. If you do, we would love that. Love to see what you're making. So please feel free to share in the Ginger's Corner Facebook group. There will be an album there where you can share your layouts from your adventure in using up a collection as well. So thanks again for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions or comments, I hope you'll leave them down below and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye for now.